would please take your hymnal and turn to page,
It's not really a page.
well, it's in the back. It's one of the back pages. Mine is the,
Surely the presence.
yeah, yes, that's where we're going, Surely the Presence is the name of it.
And the words will be up on the screen.
Yes, we have music as well. Not as beautiful as Elizabeth's voice, but we'll make do. That's very nice. I really like starting with that. Welcome to Unity of Billings. Here we are. What a fun morning this is. There we go. Back online. Our Sunday services are being live streamed this morning. Thank you for joining us. And thank you for helping to support our Unity ministry by going to PayPal or Unity Billings. Well, sorry, that's PayPal. Unity Billings. All right. As Billings, okay, billings@gmail.com or on our website. Our fabulous website, if you all haven't taken a visit over there, it's really nice. And we're happy for suggestions that you may have when you go over and visit our website. Thank you so much for all the hard work, Leslie and Clayton. Today is Friendship Sunday potluck. Yay! Please join us downstairs. If you didn't bring food, no worries. We always have plenty. Our speaker today is Reverend Edee Weigel, honoring Charles. Honoring Charles.
Fillmore.
Okay, cool. Yes, Charles Fillmore, one of the founders of Unity. August 11th will be Reverend Phil Zimke, and August 10th will be a workshop. If you have not participated in the workshop, Phil's workshops, they are just stellar. They're so good. We have lots of good conversation. It's really a good thing. August 18th is Reverend Edee Weigel again. We are so blessed again, continuously. And August 25th, drum roll. Leslie Fisher is going to give us her fabulous message. And I don't have it yet, but that's okay. It's coming along.
Spectacular.
It's gonna be so great. We're really looking forward to it. Oh, hey, can you do platform that day too?
Yeah.
You must be sick of me by the end. Actually, I'm not kidding. Well, no, that's true. We'll talk about it. And now, if you all will take a moment to gather yourselves and center, and David Friedman is going to serenade us with the Unity song. Every prayer is answered, every prayer
Every thought and feeling, every spoken word, what your soul has longed for, what your heart can feel, is already here, is already real. There is no one out there is no one else. You hold all the answers deep inside yourself. There's a voice that whispers, there's no you, no me, there's just one, there's just unity. One power, one presence, one light to lead the way, all loving, all knowing, that answers when you pray. When the world looks darkest and your eyes can't see, gather all your troubles, give them all to me. I am always with you, I will always be. I am one, I am unity. We are one, we are
We are one. As I light the Christ candle, which is the symbol of the Christ within all of us, in the one, and in our service today. Excuse me. So today, August the 4th, it's August already? The peace of God is mine to live and mine to share. Peace flourishes in my awareness of the divine presence within. Flowing from my spiritual center, peace calms my emotions, clarifies my thoughts, relaxes my body, and radiates to everyone around me. If peace eludes me, I open myself to anything that may be blocking its flow and invite it to come forward for healing. If I am holding on to resentment or unforgiveness or anger, I pray for the willingness to forgive, affirming. Divine love, through me, forgives and releases all bitterness. If fear and worry seep into my thoughts, I remember God is the only presence and power active in the universe, affirming, faith dissolves fear and restores peace. I align my thoughts and feelings with God's indwelling presence to live ever more peacefully. Let us then pursue what makes for peace and for mutual upbuilding. Romans 14:19. I like that, mutual upbuilding. And now will you all affirm with me? Whoops. I'm too slow. Inner peace. The peace of God is mine to live and mine to share. And our Unity Foundation principle, will you join me in affirming? There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, God, the good, omnipotent. And our Unity of Billings affirmation, through divine wisdom and grace, Unity of Billings is vibrant, healing, and inclusive. And now if you'll take a moment and gather your love offerings and your prayers, hold them in your hands, infuse them with your energy, your love, your light, and join me in praying. Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, and I am grateful.
Second.
There's an anchor holding fast onto the shore, wishing he could trade his iron for paper woods and sword. With his head up in the clouds, but it's just a dream, 'cause anchors don't know how. After the waves and the lightning, both heaven and earth intertwining together, a love you could never deny. The story of the anchor and the kite.
Thank you, Robin. That was awesome. That was so fun. Who's the artist? Forrest Black. Nice. Very nice. Thank you all for being here, for your gifts, of your presence, the gifts of your love, gifts of your light. And we stand in this sacred ground ground together as one. And we radiate that love and that light outward strongly. And so it is. And now, Reverend Edee Weigel will speak to us of honor. There we go, honoring Charles Fillmore. I got the whole thing right here. There it is.
It could have been Charlie, it could have been Charlie Brown.
That was a surprise.
I mean, I can actually, I can talk about this. But I don't know. I actually brought it. Yeah, I will replace your
That's
water.
funny. This morning, I put a glass of water under there. And it's just funny, like putting out the bird bath. I mean, someone needed the water, so yeah, you can bring some back. Isn't that fabulous? Good morning. That's definitely paying it forward, huh?
Yes, it is.
Water glass. So today we're honoring one of the founders of Unity Church, Charles Fillmore. And the more I read some stuff that he'd written, literally my hair was standing up because I'm like, oh, this is so great. 100 years ago, he wrote this stuff. Our founders of this church, a lot of the different churches I attended, all these people kind of knew each other over 100 years ago because it was called the New Thought Movement. So talking about honor, like honoring someone, honoring founders, and I decided to look up the word in my Webster's dictionary. Does anybody still have a Webster's dictionary? Do you ever just open it up at leisure just because it's fun to know things? It could be an oracle too. Sometimes when I have a problem, I just may open it up. You never know. But I looked up the word honor, and it said respect, esteem, dignity, a nice sense of what is right. Well, that felt really good. A title of respect or distinction, or to regard or treat with honor, to bestow honor upon and to exalt. Of all those words, I really did like a nice sense of what is right. That just makes your heart just kind of, oh, isn't that a nice, just good feeling? But to bestow honor upon the founder of this wonderful Unity Church. Think about this, over 100 years ago. That's really some powerful stuff, thinking about honoring and esteem and holding him in our hearts, actually. It does change our vibrations, him and Myrtle, the things that they did for us. So I'm honoring Charles today, and I'm thinking he wrote, inspiration comes from within. And I was inspired to write and speak about this foundation because I've been doing a lot of research about foundations of New Thought and of even yoga. Yogananda came in 1922 to America. He was invited to speak in Boston, so he came across on a ship, and I think it took him over a month. And I think it was one of the first ships that had passengers after World War I. And he waited a long time as a young man in India to get a visa to come to America. I want to share some of his writings and something that he wrote over 100 years ago. This is surely the age of reform. Think about that. 100 years ago, they were claiming this is the age of reform. And I wanted all of us to imagine living in 1924. Close your eyes for a minute and visualize 1924 and this building, this street, who knows, maybe one of these trees was still here, was 100 years ago. So visualize, how did you come to church today in 1924? I see horses and buggies tied up outside, maybe a few cowboy hats. Just a little journey. And since we were all outside this morning, we kind of have a good picture of what it feels like. 1924. Okay, come back now.
like the kite, come back. And here we are living the dream he visualized for us. So thank you, Charles, and I think let's applaud for Charles Fillmore. We're gonna really get that feeling in your heart of what he felt and what he knew in his heart and what he wrote down. So after I was looking through a lot of his things, I found a few that I thought were very notable. He wrote laws, whether natural or artificial, are but the evidence of an unseen power. Evidence of an unseen power. Whoa, that got my attention. So, what unseen powers can you think of? I'm imploring, I said, implore them to answer. What's an unseen power you can think of? Gravity?
Weather.
The weather, wind, yeah. Faith, okay, it's an unseen power, definitely. Magnetism, electricity. How about thoughts? Charles wrote, the power of love, faith, and joy, God, Spirit, is within us, and thought is its mode of manifestation. Here, 120 years ago, 100 years ago, whenever they had those meetings in the 1800s, they started talking about thoughts, manifest things. Cool. I'm like, wow, I wanted to be part of that group. He wrote, God is indwelling. God and mind are an unseen power. Mind generates thoughts perpetually. We all know that. You know that. Sometimes in yoga they have a thing called monkey mind, which actually I think one of the words is chitta, that describes an unhappy state of mind. And chitta would be like a chattering monkey, so the chitter of a monkey. Thoughts are generated perpetually, but thoughts can be sent from the ego or by the soul. I'll say this again. This is what Charles wrote down. Thoughts come from the ego or from the soul. Uh-oh. I started really looking at how I think or what passes through my mind. And I can say this again. The law of mind is what you think about, you will manifest, and I wrote absolutely, a line under it. Ruh-roh. You know the genie, when you rub it and you get the 3 wishes? Be careful. Every word we speak comes from our thoughts, and hopefully, I wrote LOL, positive. But as we become self-aware and aware of the origin of our thoughts, either soul, God, or ego, we begin to speak and think and act in a completely new way. And that's how they got the word new thought. New thought. You become a new person. And how many times have I become a new person in my life? Because I grew up with this. Sometimes they say the longer you're on the spiritual path, the narrower it gets. Yikes. So I'm walking on a knife edge because I've been in it all my life. And as my cowboy husband would say, on the path or in the poop. Some of us ranch people know when it gets real muddy, there might be a board across that you have to get across that mud and whatever's mixed with it. So he would make a joke. He'd just say, faith or fear, on the path or in the poop. But we think and act and speak in a new way when we start to realize that our thoughts and our words come from the soul, God within, or from the ego. The ego is not necessarily a bad guy. Sometimes Julia Cameron would talk about the ego like it's a great big watchdog, and it's just trying to protect you. But a God-realized person realizes that we are already protected, and I don't need the big watchdog. I dreamed last night about a pit bull but I was petting it and it was happy. So maybe I'm making peace with my watchdog, huh? Maybe I'm healing the watchdog. But in that age of new thought awareness, he and several other inspired beings were motivated to teach what they had been revealed to their souls, their own experience of deep inner God realization, self-realization of the indwelling God. And when you know this realization, you begin to feel what they felt. I mean, I can just see Charles and Myrtle, and what a wonderful thing to have a married couple that were together in faith like that. That must, so sweet. And then they ended up with hundreds of people. Like, they started off in a little building, then they needed a bigger building, then they needed a kitchen, and they needed places to stay in Unity Village. You know, I remember being a little kid and seeing the little book, Leave Summit, Missouri. I thought, well, that's cool. Unity Church. No zip code on it. Charles wrote, mind does all its work in the realm of silence. God's thought is love, and all philosophers and sages have recognized this silent cause, this perpetual outflow from center to circumference. I've been kind of enjoying turning off the TV, turning off the music, turning off everything. I can hear the air conditioner coming on and off as it keeps the house cool. Maybe the cat meowing because she doesn't like the food I put in the bowl. But just being very quiet and listening as I'm writing. Once I start writing, sometimes I'll sit there for hours and just write it out. It just comes right through me. Charles enjoyed Emerson as well. And what he said, and Charles is stating what Emerson said of Plato. So here's Charles reading Emerson, and Emerson was writing about Plato. So this is going way back to founders. Plato was born to behold the self-evolving power of spirit. Now that's hundreds of years ago. Endless generator of new ends, a power which is the key at once to the centrality and evanescence of things. Evanescence? That's a big word. Evanescence. It's hard to say. I think of champagne bubbles, maybe. The centrality and evanescence of things that I wrote, the power of spirit. So even hundreds of years ago, people had this experience where they knew something was there within them. It gave them inspiration and the strength and the power to live. And here's Charles writing about Jesus. Jesus said, the kingdom of God is within you. And seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things, your needs, shall be added unto you. I also was reading on the same page, he goes, really, if you need a new car, it's okay to pray for a new car. Or if you need a new job, or you need clothes, or you need something, it's okay. Say, but you affirm it. Thank you, God, for a new car. So he was already knowing what a treatment was and what manifestation was. Visualize yourself driving your new car and have gratitude. He also wrote about Elijah. Elijah found God not in the whirlwind or the earthquake or the fire, but in the still small voice within. The still small voice is intuition. When you think of the word intuition, well, it is like an inner tutor. So you really do have the knowledge. I remember being a small child and my mother saying, God's mind is in your mind, and everything you need to know, if you tune within, you will know what you need to know. And I think about her teaching me all these things when I was still teachable. Until you turn a teenager and then, phew! I think about the foundation she gave me. I'm honoring her belief and knowledge and application of the New Thought movement. She truly did get it, and she was a great teacher. My entire life's been influenced by me going to Unity Church and Religious Science Church. Boy, am I grateful now. We need it now more than ever in this age of reform. And more that Charles wrote, All people who have moved this world to better things have received their inspiration from the Spirit within and looked within for instruction. God is not a person. God is spirit, infinite mind, the immanent force and intelligence everywhere manifest in nature. God is the silent voice that speaks into visibility all the life there is. I was like, it's so profound. I'm by myself and I'm just like, oh, wow, this is best. This is the best. It's like when you bite into a great donut, it's got that cream filling. I found it. I'm going to repeat again. God is not a person. God is spirit, infinite mind. Over 100 years ago, he wrote this. The immanent force and intelligence everywhere manifest in nature. God is the silent voice that speaks into visibility all the life there is. Even a bad driver. My mother would say, just shoot little hearts at them. Hearts, hearts, hearts. My mother would just put her hand like, bless them. They must be in a bigger hurry than we are. Just let them go by. This power, God, builds beyond the comprehension of our human minds and keeps going. It's really nice to really stretch your brain a little bit and say, how far away is infinity? How far is the ends of the world? This power of God is beyond the comprehension of our human minds and keeps going with all of its intricate details. Universe upon universe, all one within another, yet never conflicting. Isn't it wonderful that he wrote all this down? I was like, yay, Charles. All of the building of power is from center to circumference. The evidence for this runs from the molecule and the atom of the physicist, I wrote that out phonetically, physicist, to the mighty swing of a universe of planets around their central sun. So our universe with the sun in the center and all of this, my mother used to say, we're all on a mud ball flying through space, so you might as well have faith. We're on a mud ball flying through space. Yay, Mom. But an atom and the molecule is set up with the same situation, gravity, expression from the inside out, like our universe, the sun and the planets. So we're like little grains of sand in this huge, huge ocean, this huge beach. We're all just part of it. The cosmic sea, never conflicting, universe upon universe, all within another. And all of this building of power is from center to circumference. The mighty power of God in the atom and in the universe. So as we think and as we speak, we create our lives exactly what we manifest. So we rub that genie lamp. Maybe I Dream of Jeannie comes out. We loved her. You think of it. Every single thing you say makes something happen somewhere. Hopefully in your heart and in your life and in the lives of others. We create our lives, and today we will do another responsive reading. Because I look at those responsive readings and I don't know how old these books are, but whoever put them in there thought that this would be what we needed to feed our souls. You feed your soul, and it's got a whole lot of wonderful stuff that comes back to you, for you. So we're going to turn to responsive reading number 12, which is on 528. It is after Song 388. I wrote that down. Look for Song 388. Responsive reading number 12. And we like this new beginnings because you think about the new thought movement. And no matter what the age is, it's always a new thought. Something that he said was, you can continue to expand your consciousness. You're never done. Maybe it's like a garden or a house plant. You gotta water it. Everybody found your page?
Maybe.
It's on page 528 after the Psalms. Everybody got it now? We're all cool? If anyone is in Christ, he is a new creation. The old has passed away. Behold, the new has come. 2 Corinthians 5:17.
I am not bound by the past. I am in Christ.
This is a new day.
The power of Christ in me, I see myself in a new light.
This is a new day.
The power of Christ in me, I see my strengths. I count my blessings.
This is a new day.
Through the power of Christ in me, I release the old, I behold the new.
God has placed within us all that we need for full and joyous lives.
Through the power of Christ in me, I accept my divine inheritance.
And he who sat upon the throne said, Behold, I make all things new. Revelation 21:5.
This is a new day. Through the power of Christ in me, I begin again new.
Very powerful words. When you think and speak with power, you change your life. You change other people's lives too. We're going to have a little guided meditation. So we'll take our meditation posture, both feet on the floor. We stretch and close our eyes. And you can turn your hands upward on your thigh. When your hands are open, you're receiving blessings. Feeling deep peace and breathing fully and mentally affirming, my thoughts flow from my soul. My thoughts flow from my soul. My thoughts flow from God. My center is God. I am free of thoughts that originate in my ego. I am free of thoughts that originate in my ego. And smile. Eyes closed, breathing deeply and slowly, and feel very comfortable. There is a vibration that emanates from each of us in whatever we do, mingling with the universal vibration. Let us commit ourselves to a positive enhancement of the universal creative vibration in every thought and act we create. Visualize a beautiful aura of healing, joy, and love emanating from your heart. Breathing fully and comfortably. Feel the cool air flowing in and the warm air flowing out. Expand your bubble of light, filling this room with peace. Feeling a deep connection with the indwelling God who always instructs us. God is spirit. The principle of intelligence in life, everywhere present at all times. Breathing deeply, comfortably, and smile. Breathe in the all-knowing goodness of God. Fill your heart with God's goodness of peace. And smile. We are beloved children of a great and blessed universe. And slowly coming back to 2024. Feeling the dream that they had for us in their age of reform. Yawn and stretch the whole body. Kind of a cute little thing. You can breathe up like this, and you can put your hands together, and you come down, and you press on your heart center. And this is called Anjali Mudra, which is a hand of love to your heart. You breathe up, and bring it down to the heart. A little yoga for y'all. I'm kind of a yogi cowgirl. Actually, a yogini cowgirl. Kinda. I found out the Sanskrit word for cowgirl is gopi. So I'm kind of a yogini gopi. Could be a guppy. God is spirit, and the principle of his intelligence is living and walking with us at all times. We're never alone. Here's more from Charles. God is infinite mind and expression, and this mind is always within reach of everyone. Everyone gets an equal share of this, absolutely unlimited. Set an intention to remember this. I could have had a V8. I could have remembered God is infinite mind and expression, and this mind is always within reach of everyone. All you have to do is just say, God, help me. There was a big flood once in Huntley. They called me and said, Pryor Creek is turned and it's going down the ditch behind your house. I think you need to just leave. And I grabbed my dog and my truck and trailer and one horse and one bale of hay, and I drove out of that place and said, God, take it all. God help me. I went up to a high spot and waited, and we saw the flood come down, but it washed out the railroad tracks out into Yellowstone River and turned back right when it got to my house. That was right about the time Fukushima happened. Was that 2011 or 2010? Something like that. It was the Pryor Creek flood. Took out all the bridges. My house was spared. Thank you, God. God is infinite mind and expression. Just ask to be helped. God is your higher self. How do you like that one? God is my higher self. It's so simple. You'd be a bumper sticker. God's my higher self. When you tune into the higher self, God is waiting for you. Set an intention to remember thoughts create action. And choose thoughts from the soul. You start to go, ew, I don't like the way that makes me feel. Ew, I don't think that's coming from the right place. Become free from thoughts from the ego. And become free from fear. Become free from anger. I wrote right here, wake up to your God self. I'm kind of liking this. It's kind of floating in here this morning, going, oh boy, I got a good message today. Make a choice to create your own higher consciousness. Create your own higher consciousness to contribute to a positive enhancement of the universal creative vibration. This was Charles Fillmore. Make yourself a better person and then just throw your heart and soul into making this world a better place. a positive enhancement of the universal creative vibration. Boy, he really wrote it out there. He made it fancy. This sounds exciting. I wrote, count me in. How about you?
Yep.
I want to be part of this. Be the best you can be. Our collective consciousness in this room creates an energy shift of health, happiness, and peace, and I can feel it. Can you feel it? I mean, we're lucky. We all have each other. It's wonderful. I mean, even when we're not here, we're still together. You know that. Our hearts are connected. I like this shift of awareness, and I want to stay awake and see this miracle every minute of every day. In closing today, just want to again say the message that Charles and Myrtle Fillmore wanted to share with us was to turn into your own heart and pray and live for a time by the unity idea of daring to believe that God is your health. Dare to believe that God is your support. And dare to believe that you have in you all the ideas you will ever need for a happy and successful life. Dare to be generous, loving, and free. I like this. Boy, he was really inspired. Then, in your own liberated spirit, in your own liberated life, you will understand what the Fillmores came to teach. These ideals were brought to modern thinking over 100 years ago. I guess it was the late 1800s. They would get together, and they had all kinds of different churches, and they called it applied practical Christianity. Because all they knew was when they prayed and they had faith, they felt better. That they wanted to keep turning within to find out where the source of this was. Last night, I was dinking around upstairs, which is an art studio, and I found a journal. It's my Julia Cameron morning pages from 2003. And I just opened it at random to something I had written, and it said, in my mind, there are thoughts, and they come from two different places. I went, oh man. Even though, 20-something years ago, I was still writing, and I knew I felt something, either God or the watchdog, the barking dog over here trying to protect me. It's either the soul or the ego. So let's use what they discovered and enjoy this piece of a God-centered life. And just say, God is my higher self. My higher self is God. In religious science, they would say there is one mind, that is the mind of God, and my mind is God's mind right now. I just want to align myself with this universal power. Feels great, doesn't it? Let's stand for the benediction. And stretch. Right here, right now, we are free. We are free thinkers. And our soul-centered thoughts create our world. Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you.
Thank you, Edee. That was wonderful.